Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. Um, so glad that you could join us and be with us. I see there are a lot of people already in the chat. Thank you so much for waiting patiently for me. Um, and to begin today, we just celebrated Easter weekend, and I have a little bit of Easter humor for you. I thought maybe some of you would appreciate this. Um, I got this from a friend of mine. And Pontius Pilate is speaking, and he says, Joseph of Arimathea, I really don't understand. You're one of the richest men in the region, and you have spent a small fortune on a new tomb for your family and for yourself. And you want to give it to this man, Jesus? And Joseph replies, Yeah, it's only for the weekend. So isn't that wonderful? That just really blessed me when I saw that in an email recently. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Uh, you guys going to the eclipse? Anybody doing that this coming week? Um, since I am married to a physicist who absolutely keeps track of all things in the sky, both man-made and God-made. We are going to be trying to try to catch this weekend. So if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Cleveland, Ohio, we might cross paths. I don't know. We're going to try to get to the absolute 0 point of totality on that line that reaches across the U.S. And they are calling this the Great American Eclipse. It's supposed to be twice as long, well, as the one in 2017. And the little picture that I used for my thumbnail today was from 2017 when I was with my family. And we traveled just outside of Columbia, South Carolina, and were able to see a total eclipse. And it was very, very memorable. And so my kids want to do it again. That one lasted the absolute totality. The time when the sun was completely covered lasted more than 2 minutes. This time around, they're saying it's going to last more than 4 minutes. So it's still not a lot of time, but if you all can, I would just encourage you, if you're like in a place where it's like 85% and you have the time and ability to travel where it's 100%, it'll be a big difference if you have never experienced one of these before. But anyway, we are here to talk about yarn and fiber. So if you just joined us and you've never been here before, what is she talking about? I came here to hear about yarn and crochet. You're in the right place, I promise. Let me go ahead and just see who's in the chat and just want to say hey to some of you all, or as many as I can. Good morning, Brat's mom. I'm so glad that you could join us. She's joining us from an overcast and chilly Southwest Chicago suburbs. And she says, please, friends, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Thank you if you can do that. And Angie, good morning to you. And Wanda Gordon, always good to have you here from chilly and sunny in Bahama, North Carolina. She says, praying all is well. Excuse me. Yes. And Esther, one of our admins, is joining us. Thank you so much. Joining us from New Jersey, which I understand within the hour you all just had like a 4.7 earthquake. I mean, you guys are just a couple hours away from me, really, 2-3 hours away. I hope everything is okay. I didn't hear any bad reports really, but I know it's kind of a surprise because it's not like living in California on the West Coast. I mean, we don't get these that often. So when we do get them, it's a big deal. It's hopefully everybody is okay. Hopefully it didn't cause any injury to anybody. But Esther said, I believe somebody was talking, one of my kids was talking to some of Esther's family and said that they all felt the effects of that. So wow. Kelly, so glad to have you. She says, I'm crocheting a 9-month-old baby dress today. My friend from church and her daughter-in-law and son are expecting a baby girl any day now. Well, that's beautiful to do that for them, Kelly. It says it has a matching headband with it. That is so cool. And I do hope your eye appointment goes well, sweetheart. And Connie, good to have you in the chat. She says, hope all is well, being retired. I always forget what day it is. Oh, I understand that. I tell you, I totally get that. And when I'm in South Carolina taking care of my mother-in-law or just doing other things in other places, I get that. I lose track as well. So you're not alone. You're in good company, Connie, I think. And Judy, she says, I'm surely thankful all for all your videos and skill at teaching us. Love, blessings from sunny Minnesota. Well, Judy, thank you so much for your kind comment. I just love being able to do this. Means I don't have to go back to college and retool. So I'm really happy about that. And Wanda Gordon, good morning to you. I'm gonna wave right back at you. I just got a bunch of comments loading. And Hannah, thank you for joining us and just being such a great greeter that you are to everybody. Wow, there's a lot of comments here. Okay, give me a second here to sort through it. Phil says he's waiting to load in, is it Euless? I'm probably mispronouncing that. Texas, near Dallas, Fort Worth area. I know that place. I've been there. Drive carefully, my friend, and do again. Thank you for all that you do, keeping us supplied. It's going to be a while before that, just to let you all know. Last week we talked a little bit about the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which is just a little over an hour from me. Here, I had a chance to go visit the site from a distance on Saturday with my husband, and it's still surreal to see that. And even as of today, the ship is still stuck there because they have this massive amount of, as you can imagine, bridge frame just resting on it. And it looks like a toy from a distance when you look at it. But if you can think, every one of those little tiny boxes on there is more than 20 feet long, or probably even longer than that, with those that they put on the back of the kind of trucks that Phil drives. It's just mind-boggling, the size of this and what they're having to do. So God bless you, Phil, and your other truck drivers who, when you come to this area near me, you're going to have to take a really long trip around, because anyway, we talked about that last week. But yeah, thank you for all you drivers out there, truck drivers, and how you serve us and keep us supplied in our yarn and food and all sorts of things. Alana, good to see you. She said that, oh, the sun came out today. Good morning, y'all, from Middle Tennessee. And Cynthia Dalton says, happy Friday. It's a gorgeous day here in North Carolina. Well, send the sun up. We had the sun for a little bit, but it kind of, it's played hide and seek again. It's gone hiding behind some clouds. But as my husband said, let's hope that this area gets the clouds out of its system before Monday, because and that's the other thing. We don't really have a specific location targeted for this eclipse, because we're going to kind of be storm chasers, but chasing good weather, chasing a clear sky in order to see this eclipse. So it's really very weather dependent. So we'll see. Okay, so I think I found where I am here in the chat. And Sandra Harper says, good morning, Bonnie, and all my yarny peeps. Hope everyone is well. It's rainy and chilly here in Southern California. Oh, no. A lot of rain out there these days. I guess you all need it out there in the desert. And Denise, it's good to see you in our chat. She says, hope everyone's having a wonderfully blessed day. Yes, ma'am. And Esther is with us. Hey, Esther, I hope you are okay. Again, please let us know how things are there. And Rita says, rainy and chilly in New Jersey too, and we have had a slight earthquake in Philly and New Jersey. Okay, yeah, that's right where my daughter-in-law's family is. So that's why I contacted them immediately. I have this app on my phone. My phone's in the other room. It's a weather app, a radar kind of an app, and I do get notifications when stuff like this happens, as well as lightning in the area and stuff like that. I found it to be very, very helpful. So that's how I found out about this, even before anything I didn't have any news on this. I don't really spend too much time with news, but anyway. All right, and Shasha already has a crochet question for us. What would be the easiest cable project for someone who has never done cables? I would say anything with a 4-post cable. And what I would actually suggest you do, Shasha, is go onto my channel, look under playlist and look for the Aryan Celtic stitches, and just you can look through the different cables and just see how each of the cable is constructed. You don't have to sit through an entire project or design. You can just they're like less than 10 minutes, just a few minutes long, for the simpler stuff. Of course, if it's a more complicated cable, they're going to be a little longer, but they're very short, and you can look at the cables. Let me see. I don't think I have anything. Do I have anything in this like that? No. One thing you can do, if you've never done it before, is learn how to crochet the basket weave, which is using front and back post stitches. I would highly recommend you check that out, and start there. And then once you are comfortable with front and back post double crochets, you can look into cables. Okay, and Yarn Creations by J. Marie wants to know, what's the tree of life? Well, different people might actually have answers for that, but I did do a project. If you're asking about the tree of life throw, excuse me again. I was asked to do a crochet tutorial for this project that's on Lion Brand. It was originally a knit by Nikki Epstein, or Epstein, however her name is pronounced. And somebody recreated that in crochet stitches. And I taught that. It wasn't my pattern. It was, again, it was a free pattern you can get from Lion Brand. Now, there has been some confusion on getting the free pattern. In case you've tried, people have said, oh, it's no longer free. It costs $50. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Lion Brand is trying to sell you a yarn kit, which is their right to do. That's their business. So what you have to do now, if you want to download the pattern free, this is not the way it used to be when I did these videos, but this is kind of a little bit of a few hoops you have to jump through. They want to put you on their newsletter. That's all they want. They want you to sign up for a free account. So once you sign up for that, you can decide whether you, I guess, want the newsletter or not. That's all it is. They're adding to their mailing list, I believe, to their customer list. But if you do that, and then you can download the pattern, the PDF for free, just to let you know. It's just another way of helping. I think yarn companies are just trying to stay in business, so it's not a big deal. But if you're not comfortable with that, then I'm not sure how you would get the pattern. And from Beth, Hannah is sending me these that are down further in the chat. So thank you for doing that, Hannah. Oh, wow. And Beth, okay, you're welcome, Beth. She says, thanks again, Bonnie, for the cross stitch. I'm adding the kits to my to-do pile, which is just about as tall as I am. That's great. What Beth is talking about, we did some reorganizing here when my daughter Becky was home, and we found a lot of cross stitch kits that were passed on to me. People find out you're a crocheter, so they think you do everything, which is really nice of them to do. I've had them around, and it's not something you just want to give away to Salvation Army, not knowing if they would really know what to do with it. But I really wanted to give it to a crafter when I found out. We went through these, and then I knew Beth was a big cross stitcher. So I hope you enjoy those, Beth. You're serving me by just helping me to clear out some things. Got to make more room for yarn, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. And Beach Bum 312 wants to know, anyone else feel the earthquake? Yeah, and Esther's saying, yeah, she did. Whew. And Beth again is asking, is everyone in the New York area okay? Yeah, New York, New Jersey. And I apologize if you hear a lot of noise. I don't know how much of it's going to be filtered out, but our neighbors decided to have their lawn crew cut their yard. They started about 5 minutes ago, so I hope that's not going to be too disruptive to you guys. All right. Hello, Janet. It's good to have you in our chat. And Josie, hello to you. She said, good morning, Bonnie and friends. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, yes. And Kim W is joining us from Texas. Well, welcome, Kim. Um, and Joni said she got a good report from her cardiologist on Wednesday. Wanted to thank everyone there for prayers. Excellent, Joni. Actually, I was praying for you this morning. I'd like to try to go through my crochet prayer list on Friday mornings to help me just remember you all. And yeah, so it's just amazing how much is going on medically with our demographic these days. Um, it's just part of life, I guess. And Ola Joe, so good to have you in the chat. And everybody, listen, if you get a chance, check out some of Ola Joe's shorts and her videos. They're really really good. Um, and I know she'd really appreciate to have more subscribers there. She's just a delight. And Cynthia Burke, welcome. Uh, and Marilyn, so glad that you could be here. And Maggie, she says, um, good blessed Friday, everyone. Yes, 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 yes. Um, and Sharon, okay, in response to the earthquake, says felt the tremor here, and is it Bergen Country, New Jersey? Wow, or is that county? Um, I'm not sure. I'm not as geographically astute as I should be. And Jesse from, is it Galion, Ohio, says here we are in part the path of totality. Weather in Ohio isn't going to be very favorable, it seems. Well, Jesse, we just got to keep hanging in there. We're going to be heading north because we're going to be joining my son and his wife, and my son Hudson is in town, so he'll be traveling with us, and maybe his friend as well. I don't know, but we're going over to Pittsburgh, and then heading north somewhere along the line of totality if we can. We're going to just spend the whole morning driving and see where we go. And we're going to be following the weather reports and clouds very closely. You just don't know. It's a shot in the dark. Shot in the dark. No pun intended, but yeah. Well, I hope you get to see it, Jesse. At least it will at least get very dark, even if you can't look up and see. And if I haven't mentioned, if you're going to do this, don't forget to get those eclipse glasses. You can get them like at Staples for $5 or $6, or you might even be able to find them for free in various places. But they're super dark. I mean, really, really dark. If you put them on, you won't be able to see anything. But they are safe to look at the sun if you have these special glasses. Sunglasses aren't going to cut it. So don't look up at the sun during the eclipse with anything else. In that picture that I posted on the thumbnail, we have all of us are wearing those glasses, and we're able to see the eclipse, which was pretty amazing back in 2017. Paul, welcome to our chat, and Wanda Gordon, good to see you. I think I already read that, but that's okay. And Linda Jones says, "What a chilling week they're having in Portland, Maine. They have been getting with power outages and no Wi-Fi for a lot. But 2 weeks ago was my turn. Now others are taking theirs. Oh wow! So you're having trouble with power outages and no Wi-Fi. That would be tough. Because it's been cold here. I just before going live, I could hear my heating system grinding it out, kind of making a beautiful young sound, which I hope you couldn't hear. And I just decided to let it go, let it stay on because I'm chilly. We keep it at about 67 degrees inside until it warms up. And then of course, when it warms up, then we keep it at a warmer temperature so the air conditioning doesn't have to work quite so hard. But yeah, it's still a little chilly. The winter is still teasing us and is not quite ready to let us go yet. The lion is still here. We're still waiting for that lamb part of the spring to show up. And Denise says, yes, going to meet my oldest son and family at the lake to view it. He purchased the proper glasses. We will be at Lake Erie, a few miles east of where the Detroit River and Lake Erie meet. Well, we're hoping to get up near the lake, but I know the lake is huge. But it'll be more towards Cleveland, Ohio, if if things work the way we think they're going to work. But again, we're all very weather dependent, kind of like storm chasers, but safer, hopefully. Um, and Bonnie Martinez, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for your sweet comment. Glad that you could be in our chat today. And um, and Roxanne, good morning to you. And Christine Rios says, greeting from sunny Puerto Rico. Welcome. Buenos dias. So glad you could be here. So glad you could be here. And and is it, can we have another person? I'm not going to read the name, but hello to you too. That's an interesting name. Okay. And Wendy, hi there, from the yarn shop in Hagerstown, Maryland. I so need to get back out there and visit you all. Um, it's just been crazy, a little bit crazy busy with family right now. Um, but I do want to get back up there to visit you sometime. And Tanya, she says, watching from Northern Ireland, Belfast. Well, welcome, Tanya. So love your country. The your country culture has just so inspired a lot of my work. So thank you for joining us. I would love to get to that part of Ireland at some point. I would really looking forward to getting back there. I've only been there once in 2012, and I was just tagging along with my husband on his work trip, but we made some great memories there. All right, and oh, Bonnie Martinez from Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, welcome. Another favorite place for me to be in the world. I love Arizona. It just reminds me of my late uncle. I miss him so much. And Caroline from joining us from a windy and cold Ireland. Oh yes, I remember how windy and cold it could get, especially down near the cliffs of Moher. I have to tell you a story. My husband um, didn't dress warmly enough when we went along the coast for our day that we were spending around the cliffs of Moher. And we're going to go on a boat ride, but he just wasn't prepared. So he actually had to get a jacket, and he got one from the cliffs of Moher shop. And it was the only one that he could get that fit him. And so that was 2012. And so we're like 12 years later, he's still wearing the same jacket. It has faded quite a bit, but he wears that. That's his favorite jacket. It's got a little picture of the cliffs and a little picture of a penguin on it as well. It's, just a nice memory that's always with us. And Janet, so glad you could be with us. And let's see. Ooh, lots and lots of comments. Well, let me go ahead and tell you a couple things here that are coming up. I just wanted to have you put it on your calendar in case you're local in the area where I am. I'm on the East Coast in Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C. And I'm going to be having a table at the Frederick Fiber Festival on April 27th. It's just a one-day festival from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be having all of my books available for sale. I will have some crochet samples that were made while I made the videos. Of course, I can't wear and keep everything that I make because I make a lot of stuff. But there will be a lot of samples for sale. But primarily there will be books, and I'll be giving away some tape measures with my logo on it. And even if you don't have to buy anything to come to my booth, if you just want to stop by and say hi, I would just really love that, just to be able to meet you. There are going to be a lot of other vendors there as well, selling beautiful yarn. My friend Laura from Jewel Designs that sell the little the stud buttons and the special shawl pins and cuffs and things. She's going to be there with the stand. I think she might have some new stuff there as well. She's coming out with these really beautiful new embellishments for shawls that I'm going to have to add to my collection. But she'll be there. And again, many people selling hand-dyed yarns, selling all sorts of yarns and yarn crafts. So definitely mark your calendar. And it's going to be at the Frederick Fairgrounds in Frederick, Maryland. So you can just do an easy Google check on that. And for those of you who are interested, have never been to like a really big fiber festival, there's going to be the following weekend at the Howard County Fairgrounds, the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. It's a big festival. It's been going on for many, many years. This year, however, there's going to be a $15 entrance fee. In the past, it's been $5, so that's gone up to $15, I think, to offset the cost of having to hire a lot of people to work the show instead of being all volunteer based. I think they've had to just hire some people to get the work done. And you all understand if you see this site of this place, there's a lot. It's just a lot of work, even just parking all the cars that come. So just be prepared for that. I know that's not fun for anybody to hear that the cost of what they love is going up, but it is. So just to let you know. Yeah, you're right, Hannah. I'm talking about the jacket that my husband got in Ireland. Yeah, it's a puffin on the jacket with the cliffs of Moher. Let's see, what else do we have? Yes. Thank you to the Watch subscribers who joined me for this past week's live Zoom class. I taught two versions of this, one in the morning, I'm sorry, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. The recording of that class, which was Celtic Weave and Beyond, it was learning two different ways to work the Celtic Weave. And I think it was helpful just to take it and break it down step by step in a very slow manner. And I really enjoyed just chatting with you wonderful folks in both of those classes. So that is up on the Watch channel. If you don't know what the Watch channel is, it's a paid subscriber channel that I have on the Vimeo platform. It's $7.95 a month or $79.50 per year, which is a savings if you do the math, because if you multiply $7.95 times 12, it's slightly more. It's about $15. Is that right? No, it's about $16 more than the yearly rate. But on the channel, you can watch many, many of my designs, and I have exclusive designs there that don't appear here. I also have complete classes in designing and on a couple of subjects on there. There's some behind the scenes. And the real big perk with this, I guess there are two really big perks with that. I mean, you watch them all ad free. There are no pop ups. Um, I'm not trying to super sell you on anything else. We're just trying to teach the craft, and nobody is going to track you on what you're watching. I don't. I mean, I might have the ability to do that, but I don't. I don't do that. I don't use that information in any way, shape, or form. Um, and you get PDF downloads of most of the designs that are there. Now, the ones that I don't own the copyright to, obviously, I can't give that away if I don't own it. But the ones where I own the copyright, they're available there for you to just download immediately at no extra charge. And I am trying to make it a monthly um, offer a monthly live Zoom class. I do ask if you're interested in these that you have to sign up. Just have to shoot me an email, bonniebay@me.com, and you know the drill. The email is in the video description below. But if you're a subscriber, you should know that by now, and that just kind of helps with security. It just kind of helps to keep things just a tad more secure when we work these classes. And the class for May is going to be 3 ways to crochet braided cables. And we're doing 3 different ways, 3 different sets of multiples with each one. And that's going to be Thursday, May 9th from 2 to 4 p.m. or Friday, May 10th from 7 to 9 p.m. So I tried to adjust that. There were a couple people said that Friday evening would work better when they're out on the West Coast. So I'm hoping that you West Coasters, that would work better for you. If yeah, and if there's a special time, I need to keep my weekends free of the classes for now. I mean, I might occasionally do something on Saturday, but I really prefer that to be family time. Um, but I'm just trying to be accommodating to as many people as I can. Obviously, if you're international and are like from Australia, I mean, it's going to be really hard to connect there live. with a class, but you can always watch the replays on the Watch channel. All right. Um, so I hope that makes sense. But if you want to sign up for the 3 ways to crochet braided cables, some people have already started sending me emails on this, and I'm going to get to those. I just haven't added those to the list yet, but I'm going to be doing that this afternoon. But just send me an email. But remember, you need to be a Watch subscriber in order to be added to the class. All right. Let's get back to the group chat. Oh, Cynthia says, just had the honor of purchasing a prototype pin from Jewel Designs this morning, a metal covered piece of lace that she designed the new studs after. One of a kind. I will treasure it. I saw those. Those were gorgeous. I hope she produces more of those, but she just got some really great designs. And if you go to her site, I think I have her. Well, I'll just go ahead and put it in the chat now. Uh, and again, I'm not doing this because I get a kickback or anything. I don't. I'm just sharing this as one friend in the industry, just saying, look at my friend over here. Okay, so this is not a monetary thing at all for me. Okay, it's jeweldesigns.com. I just put it in. And her things are not cheap. They're not, this is not Walmart dime store stuff. Okay. This is stuff that's handcrafted by artists. So just keep that in mind when you look at the prices on these. But I have not regretted even for a second the money that I've invested in um, some of her items. All right. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I'm going backwards a little bit. Stephanie says, my thoughts and prayers are for all in the earthquake today. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and we have my crochet story says, howdy, y'all. Bonnie's Tree of Life tutorial is phenomenal. Oh, thank you. It's very long. But I will say in that Tree of Life tutorial, you do learn how to read through a stitch guide. I primarily stick with that because the verbal instructions were like it just felt like it was that thick, and which is why there are I think 6 or 7 videos. I do break it down into bite-sized pieces, and that's why we do that. Thank you, Bonnie Martinez. Thank you for your kind comment. She says thank you, and again prayers for your continued success. Thank you so much. I really do need that, Bonnie. um, yeah, I had some interactions this week I won't get into, but they were not pleasant. So thank you for your kindness and just grace, and we're we may not agree on everything all the time, but that's just life. I don't agree with everything all the time with my own family, especially not with my kids. I mean, and we're not cantankerous or anything towards each other. I mean, we love each other very much, but we're different people and we see and we feel and experience the world in different ways. And we just need to give each other grace for that. Yes. Um, got a hair right in my eye. All right. I'm just backing up a little bit so I don't miss anybody. Oh, okay. And Yarn Creations got the message. Yarn Creations by Jay Marie. Okay, great, 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 great. You got the um yeah. And if you have trouble finding that, just contact me, bonniebay@me.com, and I'll try to get you the link. And then Norma says, "Hi from South Jersey, right over the bridge from Philly. Yes, earthquake felt like a big train going down the track. I live very close to the railroad track. It was scary, but we're all okay." Thank you, Norma. I'm so glad that was not a big, I'm glad that you are fine. And Terry Redmond, good to see you, my friend. Says, "Pray all is well. It's a glorious day." Yes, it is. Um, Okay, and Barney Martinez is talking about, yeah, about the question. And don't ever be sorry to ask a question, Bonnie. I promise you, we love to help. And no question is too dumb. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a teacher. I love teaching, and I like to break things down into bite-sized pieces. And no question is ever, you know, a problem. So, and feel free to contact me if you need Hannah sent me a question from Phil. He says, "Is there a difference in yarn as far as one being better geared toward knitting versus better for crochet? If so, how can you learn which is better for which?" That's a great question. I think you just need to experience the yarns to see what you like personally. But there is one difference with knitting that I've discovered. Um, when knitting, it's easier to knit with a yarn that will expand and contract, or have just a little bit of bounce back to it. And so therefore, that's why a lot of knitters prefer wool. I'm not talking so much superwash, but superwash works fine. But an untreated wool, a regular wool, the hair of the sheep is generally kind of like in a spiral. So if you can imagine it being kind of a spring that expands and contracts, not, of course, not this much, but I'm ex- I'm extenuating it, but just a little bit, because when you're knitting, you have the yarn or the loop on your needle, and then you need to have a little leeway to stick another um, needle in there. And of course, the larger the needles you're using, the more you're going to want something like wool, because it'll expand a little bit so that you can wrap that and pull the loop through and then take it off the hook. Um, I will tell you that knitting a dishcloth is one of the hardest things I've ever done, because knitting with, do I have the yarn here? No, I don't. Knitting with, that dishy yarn, the kind that you get, it's like peaches and cream. You can get it at Walmart, at Michael's, any of those big box stores. There's no give to that, and it's a very strong yarn for scrubbing pots and so forth. But when you're knitting it, it's a bear, because there's no expansion in the yarn. Now with crochet, and also getting back to the expansion part with knitters, that's why a lot of knitters don't like acrylic. And I think why they don't understand crocheters, why do crocheters like acrylic so much? Because we use acrylic all the time. Or, I mean, I use a lot of acrylic. I use other stuff too. I mean, I use it all and I love it all. For them, I even love mohair, so I know I'm weird. Um, but the main difference is we're not dependent on that yarn. It doesn't have to expand or do anything special like it needs to be able to do with knitting, or at least to knit comfortably. So I'm glad I learned that as a knitter. So now I understand that it's not a yarn snobbery thing that I used to think it was. I know, forgive me. Okay, we judge each other sometimes, and I probably prejudged the knitters for years, thinking, "Why do you have to have the fancy pants, the wool all the time?" Well, the reason is they have 2 needles, and it just works better. It just works better with the needle. So I've learned that it's not a snobbery. It just works better. But with crochet, we can use just about anything, and it's not a problem. Of course, you do run into, sometimes, like with the dishcloth yarn, it is a little harder on our hands because there's a lot of friction between the stitches, and it's just not as flexible. It's not as soft as some of the other yarns that are just more enjoyable. So I hope that that kind of makes sense. Um, but I have knit with some acrylics. Actually, I have a baby blanket. I don't have it within reach. That's coming out soon on my channel. And it's 100% acrylic. I'm going to probably roll that out in a week, not this Monday, but probably the following Monday. It was 100% acrylic, but it had a little bit of give to it. So it was a special fuzzy kind of stuff, but it knit up fine. I have other acrylics that just a little harder to knit with. So yeah, so I know I went on and on about that, but hopefully that makes sense. All right. So where are we? 12:39. Okay. All right. Oh wow. Cynthia says, talking to Charlotte, so cool that this eclipse chose Neil Armstrong's home to appear. I grew up in Ohio and have been through that area many times. Wow, that is cool. I wonder if we'll have time to even go by that museum. I don't think we will, but um, probably have time to watch the eclipse and then drive back to Pittsburgh. But anyway, um, and Mary Wagner says, Mary's from Wisconsin, sunny and in the 40s. Took a nice walk with my husband and our Aussie Rosebud. Aw, thank you for all your tutorials and prompting. Oh, thank you. My pleasure, Mary. I'm so glad to be able to do this. Um, all right. Okay. I'm so far behind, guys, so just forgive me if you will. And Maggie Poe, she says, it's been a while. Life is a journey. It feels good to be back. So glad to have you back. And Carol, so glad you could join us. Telling Phil to be safe with all the crowds in the Dallas, Texas area with the eclipse coming. Yeah, there are a lot of people booking hotels and everything. It's going to be kind of crazy. And Ashley says, hi, I'm new here. Just finished the Celtic Cables throw. About to start the On a Hill Far Away Easter throw. Thank you for the awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Ashley. I'm so glad you could join us. I'm so glad I got to see your comment. Um, you are so welcome here. I'm so glad that you're enjoying these. And Charlotte says, we live in St. Mary's, Ohio. We're expecting a lot of people close to us. Uh, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'm going to mispronounce it if I do. But somewhere in Ohio, Neil Armstrong's hometown, they have a lot of activities planned. Town of 10,000, expecting 90,000. Whew. Well, we'll avoid that town. I think don't need to add 4 more to that or 5 more to that. Um, oh wow, and Yarn Creations by J. Marie says, okay, so Keystone Heights, Florida. I'm searching for the perfect stitch to design a skirt and t-shirt cardigan. I'm having a hard time because no stitch is jumping out at me. You know what? I don't know if you're planning on wearing like something underneath it, like a tank top or like what do you call those? I forget the name that we used to call them, but just kind of an undershirt. Um, I know you can get like full slips, like dress style slips from Amazon of all different colors in cotton that are fantastic for putting a crochet garment, especially for summer, on top of that, especially if it's lace. So I don't know, you might want to consider some lace style crochet that's open and airy, maybe. And maybe perhaps get a one of those slips from Amazon and or even just a half slip and just attach it to the crochet so that you have a complete garment and just maybe do something with lace. Because I know, and I would also go with some kind of slinky yarn like rayon or perhaps, I'm trying to think, rayon or something with silk in it. Because you're going to probably want something that's kind of flowy and not real thick. I would go for a fingering weight or a sock weight yarn. There's a lot out there that maybe you can work on. Yeah, that's a great idea. I like wearing skirts in the summertime with the shorts underneath. Those are really nice. Um, oh wow, Stephanie says she's doing the Tree of Life for the 4th time. Hopefully, I will finish the one. I'm on the flower panel. It's fun to do. I have a bad habit of putting it down and forgetting about it. Uh, that's why I leave my stuff out. I mean, it looks kind of a mess, but it's organized chaos. But if I put something away, I do forget about it too. But if you leave it out on the table or put it in a basket and just leave it out that you stumble over it, you won't forget. That's my strategy, and I'm sticking to it. But you've done that pattern more than I have. I've only done it once, Stephanie, and that was to teach it, and then I gave it away as a gift. So I haven't seen that in a long time. Oh, thank you. Maggie says, I love this colorful blanket behind me. let's go ahead. Did I find it? Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. Well, there goes the scarf. This is the blanket I was telling Phil about. It's a knit baby blanket, the one that I knit with acrylic, but the yarn was really stretchy, so it was nice. So yeah, so this is coming out in about 10 days. So in about a week from Monday. It's an easy knit baby blanket, and this is was a fun blanket to make. This is the easy diagonal shell baby blanket. So and this is with red heart yarn. It's not it's not super soft, but you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I know people don't like the red heart because it's not the softest thing out there. I understand that. I understand that very much. But what I well, but I'm just going to show you. It's still worth it. I think this will soften up in time. But this is definitely soft enough for my grandsons. And here's the back side, which really it's totally reversible. I think both sides they look different, but they look fine. And I just love it that the yarn does all the color work for you so that you don't have a bunch of loose ends to hide when you're doing a lot of color changes. So I did block this one. I demonstrate in the video how to wet block it, but if I were to do that again, I'd probably block it with steam. I think the steam, just taking an iron, don't iron it, don't let it touch, but you can use a steam iron or just a steamer to try to hot steam the acrylic. I think it would respond better. Yeah. So thank you for calling attention to that, Maggie. And Hannah sending me another question. Okay, so Kate wants to know, I am new and so excited to be here. Kate, we are so glad that you can join us. She says, with so many people making knitted, crocheted, I guess knitted or crocheted baskets. However, the cost of the t-shirt yarn is costly. Are there heavy yarns one can use? Hmm, I don't know. I don't know that I can answer that because full disclosure, I use my African. I'm looking up at my baskets. Excuse me. Let me show you. I don't even need to show you. I've got a couple of actually three African market baskets, so that I use that for my when I'm traveling or I use them around the house. I have not. I've never made a basket. I've never made a crocheted basket. I know they're easy enough to do. Um, and I do understand your concern. The cost of the yarn isn't cheap. I think it might be good to use that if that's what the pattern calls for, because I think that'll treat your yarn really well. I know sometimes if your yarn is in a basket and it's bumping up against other yarn, sometimes it can cause pilling. I don't know. I know. I'm just speculating here. I'm really not a good person, I guess, to ask about that. You could try some thicker yarn, but you might want to just ask, try to learn how is that yarn going to interact with the yarn that you're crocheting, if you know what I'm saying, because it's going to be rolling around in a basket. I think that's why. Let me show you this. I've got some papers in here. Let's see. I think that's why a lot of people like to use a yarn bowl. This, of course, doesn't fit the standard, red heart super saver skeins, obviously, but this is nice for when you have to roll your yarn. You can put the spool of the yarn or the cake right in there. If you have a bigger, let me show you this. This is another option. This is just an old, it was actually a planter. And then let me show you what I did. I put a little stopper in the bottom of it here. And if you have a bigger ball, I mean, you can just let it roll around in there, but you just want to be sure that if there are any edges in here that are rough in any way, that you smooth them out, or put a piece of cloth or something, glue a piece of cloth or something down there to prevent it from fraying your yarn. That would be the concern is if the yarn that you make the basket out of is going to, just uh, be too rough for your yarn that you're using for whatever craft you're making or design you're making, if that makes sense. So that's where I think the t-shirt yarn might actually be the least abrasive. Um, and if you use other thicker yarn, well, one thing that you can experiment with, what I've heard of some people doing, is putting 2 or 3 strands of, let's say, their stash yarns of worsted weight yarns together to make a uh, thick yarn, and then crochet a basket. I mean, I see people do that all the time. I would just, just make sure that the yarn that you use is not going to affect the yarn that you're crocheting with when you're working on your designs. All right. Oh, sorry about that, Samantha. Samantha says she's been searching for Nishiki, Nishiki by Noro, but haven't been able to find yarn. Looks like it's discontinued. Wanting to make directionally challenged scarf. Do you have any suggestions? I would just find another yarn, another cotton yarn, just to replace it. I'm sorry about that. I bought the yarn at a local yarn store. I didn't realize it was discontinued. That happens occasionally. I also know that I don't know if you know that the founder of the company, Mr. Noro, recently passed away. It's been, I guess, within the past year or two, and so I don't know. And I don't know if these things are just changing quickly. I'm pretty sure they're just still doing fine in business, but yeah, maybe they did discontinue that. I'm so sorry. I would have chosen a different yarn had I known that, but they just, these 2 yarns look so great in the yarn store together. I just thought, wow. What you could possibly do is pick another one of their yarns, of a similar thickness. I did use a thinner yarn. That was a thinner yarn than the original yarn that I was using, but you can really use any size to go with that, as long as the arrows are the length that they need to be. If you want to reach out to me, we can maybe do some looking online, but yeah, I would just try to find a color that matches it as well, or even just try yarn from your stash. Because it does look kind of like a hodgepodge. Let me show you what she's talking about. This is the directionally challenged scarf. It's quite long, but it's one of these, like a summer scarf that you can wrap, or a spring scarf. It's a cottony blend, and the nishi is this yarn here. So really, I I'm so sorry that they did that. But any yarn really that you find that maybe is a similar color, or maybe just a different color altogether, if you want to trim it with something else. I would go with anywhere from a sport weight to a light worsted on this, and that should work. And just be sure that it's coming out the size that you need it to be. Okay. But that's a bummer, though. I hate it when some of the nicer yarns are discontinued. It's kind of a bum deal. Well, I wanted to let you know that there's a playlist. If you're looking for designs, I'm going to just go through this little box real quick here. If you received my newsletter, I just sent it out yesterday. I had a free pattern for this summer scarf. It's made with a bamboo yarn. You can make this any length you want, but what's nice, if you make it about the length that I recommend, you can double it like this, and it could make a nice little scarf for the summer. Or of course, you could wear it as a longer scarf as well. These are really fun. They come together really quickly. And again, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, check it out. You can just go to my webpage, bonniebay.com, and there is a link in the video description, and just subscribe. It's free. I send it out. I try to send it out weekly. And those of you who've been following me know that doesn't always happen. So I'm not a super spammer at all. I send it out like once a week. And if you find that you don't want it, it's easy to get off the list. And I honor that. And I do not sell the information, your addresses, to anybody, period. And I have been asked, and I do not, because I treasure my privacy where I can, and I want to honor yours as well. It'll only be used for the newsletter. Some other ideas that are on my channel for this summer. I have a cabled backpack that is fairly easy to make. This is using the double stitch, which is single crochet, double crochet alternated, and the elongated cables. And I use the paracord nylon for the straps. And this easily, goes on as a backpack and can be kind of a very nice bag. You can fill things up, put things, have it on your back, wherever. You can shop hands-free and things can be safe behind you. There is also an easy beginner cotton scarf on the channel. There's also a stole. And the person that was asking about a stitch for a skirt, this actually might be a really good skirt stitch. This is the crow's feet is what it's called. But you can look at this online. It's a stole. It's 100% cotton, lightweight, fingering weight yarn. But it's one of these things that you can bunch up, stick it in your bag. And if it gets a little chilly in the restaurant because they have the air conditioning on full blast in the summer, you can just kind of wrap this around your shoulders and not freeze. Another option is, once again, here's another version of the Abigail scarf or shawl. And this is using what's called a tencel yarn, which is a breathable. It's almost like qualities of bamboo. That's what it feels a lot like, a nice sheen to it. But, take your winter, the other shawls that you make with acrylic and wool and just, use that and make it out of cotton. And it can be a summer item. Here's another. Just one of these, just an infinity scarf, that you can wrap and wear in many decorative ways. And let's see, here's another. And again, these are all on the channel in the playlist. This is another one made out of bamboo. Just a nice little accent. Oh, and here's another. This is the one I like a lot. Another one of this is the one that I photographed for the free pattern in yesterday's newsletter. So really, really soft to the skin, breathable materials. There's a lot on there. There's also a summer playlist on my channel. It has little cup holders and all sorts of stuff if you like to get into those. I've made those and designed them in the past, but honestly, I don't use them much. I guess I drink too much. I drink too many cold drinks to even be able to bother with the cozy. They don't last that long. All right. So yeah, but I think this would be a nice stitch, for that skirt that you were talking about. All right. Let's see. How do we get through this? So the time just flies when I'm on here with you guys. If I didn't get to your comment, I really am sorry. I'm going to try to greet as many people as I can here. And Hannah, thank you for sending me all these questions. And someone's asking, okay, Najla's asking about the shawl I'm wearing. There's a blanket and a poncho pattern with the same color on the website. Okay, this is interesting story. Came up yesterday, 2 days ago. This is actually a version of the Gaithersburg stole. This is in my first book, Contemporary Celtic Crochet, which is right here. And I want to show this to you because ran into some more thievery online. And, there's only so much you can do. But this is the original, the Gaithersburg stole. I just used a different color yarn for another one. But recently, it came to my attention from one of you. So thank you, from a follower who recently, she thanked me. She had a heart to thank me, which I so appreciate. She thanked me and said, "Thank you for this video. I just bought the PDF." And I'm like, "Are we talking about the same design? Because I can't sell this as a PDF because this is owned by my publisher. All the designs in here, the rights to sell PDFs, um, I don't have that right because my publisher, Penguin Random House, owns the rights to this book. I have videos that point to this book, but you have to go to Penguin Random House to purchase this book, or you can purchase it from me because I've already purchased um, author copies from Penguin Random House. So I cannot even sell the PDF by myself. But there was another seller online. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see the name of the seller because they're publicly selling my works that were just a scanned image out of this book. And of course they didn't have my name on it, no. And they changed the name to Celtic Cabled Shawl. They took the name Gaithersburg off. So I just say that, just to know there are sites out there, and people trying to comfort me, I think understandably, are just saying, "Oh, I'm so mad at Etsy and all that." Etsy's not the problem. The problem is people's hearts, and the problem is theft and deceit. So, we live in a fallen world. We live in a world there where there's evil all about. There's a lot of good in the world too, an awful lot of good, and you guys are part of that. But I'm just telling you, if you I know many of you follow other designers as well, and if you see their designs being misrepresented or sold as something else or even given away as something else without, and you think it's maybe not authorized, contact the designer, and ask. Just ask. Did you know that they're selling this? And sometimes it may be fine. It may be they have an arrangement. But if you ever see any of the designs out of my published books being sold on other sites, I mean, other than Annie's and I do some partnerships on some designs, and it's definitely authorized. We're teaming up on a few designs here and there. But other than that, I mean, if you see these independent people on Etsy selling things and it looks fishy, it probably is wrong. You're probably right. That it's probably unauthorized. So we are, I am attempting to shut this shop down because I don't even know how many other things that they've got. They've got over 676 items. Don't know how many of them are legit. And even the description of the shop looks very AI generated, if you know what I mean. It doesn't look like a normal person, a human wrote it. It looks like it's a computer generated thing. So anyway, thank you for your help and at least getting one more bad player um, hopefully dealt with. Hasn't been dealt with yet, but my publisher is working on it, and I've done everything that I can to report it. So just hoping that that we'll be able to do that. But what I was going to say, people are quick to blame Etsy. Please don't do that because this has come up in many different places. It can happen anywhere. It can happen on Ravelry, which um, I'm no longer there, but it can happen there. It has happened there. It's happened everywhere, and it's not the fault, I don't think, of the companies who have these um, places available for us designers to be able to sell publicly. I mean, I'm thankful that this is available for me to help make a living. But it's the people. It's the people. And they're just banking on the fact that there are so many of them that they cannot patrol it or police it like it should be. And that's where you guys have helped me in the past. So thank you so much. I just want to, express my gratitude for, your faithful support. And yeah, but thanks for looking out, not just for me, but all the people out there, even for those of you who are in the chat, like I know Ola Joe, the crocheting sailor. I mean, she may have designs out there that she wants protected, and so yeah, if you follow when you follow other people, and if you see foul play, let them know. Contact them directly. I know they'll really appreciate it. Even if it's okay, it's good to just know that there are other eyes out there. Just kind of keeping an eye out. Um, okay, so it's another from Norma. It says, where would I find specs about yarn, hook size for a large corner to corner Afghan, maybe even a nice pattern? Perhaps I'm not looking in the right places. Any help is appreciated. Um, well, usually, Norma, when you buy a pattern, it'll usually recommend the type of yarn, and to look at yarn specs. Usually, a lot of this information. Okay, I just grabbed one that was near. A lot of that information is on the yarn label, and this is some yarn, like for example from Joann's, and you can see, the hook size, the yarn size, all the information you need. And you can contact me, bonniebay@me.com, if I'm not hitting on your answer. Um, uh, oh, no, no, no. Okay, and thank you for yeah. I'm reading Nodula's comment. Um, yeah, Nodula, she sent me this beautiful picture of her dress, and I didn't publish it. Nodula, the reason I didn't publish it is I wanted to give you an opportunity to publish it yourself, and I just didn't want to put it out there, so that sites like the one I was talking about, they major on stealing from other people. So I just didn't want somebody else to steal your design. Even if the stitches are something that I use, you can certainly use them in your design. That is your design. You're not stealing from anybody. Just wanted to make that clear, that I just wanted to protect your work, um, because I didn't want a lot of people to see this and think that, um, I just didn't want I want your work to be safe, is why I didn't publish that. I just wanna make that clear, and I think your work is beautiful, and you should consider doing some designs and writing them out. And if you need any help on that, let me know. I am actually what do you call it? I do help people like that through Crochet Guild of America, so, feel free to contact me. Alright, so it's getting late. I do want to just make sure I haven't missed anybody. I know I haven't looked at this chat for a few minutes here, so, yeah, please forgive me for not getting to these, but I am gonna get through these once I sit down for lunch. Let me see. We have, beach bum. Yeah, I read that, I think, about the earthquake. Uh, well, and Barbara felt it too. Uh, she says, "Felt from Connecticut to Maryland." Yeah, I must not have been paying attention. I didn't notice anything, here. And, um, and Missy Rogers said they felt it in Oxford, Pennsylvania. I was crocheting in the house, the sofa, the pups, and I started to shake. I thought my plants were going to fall off the shelf. Wow. Huh, okay. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing their home opener today. Wow. Well, we're not gonna be going there till Sunday after church. And then Ruth is with us, says, "Just checking in. I've been down with MS for a while now, but doing well today." Oh, I'm so sorry, Ruth. I didn't realize you were dealing with that. Um, and Diane said the earthquake in New Jersey was at a 4.8. Eeh. Now you can't ignore that. And Mary, thank you for joining us from South Houston, Texas area. Um, yeah, yeah, and Brandy says, I have found a lot of Afghan and other things that I'm looking to crochet on Pinterest. And then when I go to the actual website, it usually gives you all the info about the pattern and the specs. Yeah, that's very helpful. That's really, really helpful. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to read something. I mean, like I told you earlier, it's been a good week. It's been one of those weeks. When things just happen that are unexpected, and it's not always a positive unexpected, if you know what I mean. And had several of those kind of back to back this week, and it's always an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to get better, to learn how to respond in love, to learn how to um, just be better, I think. And after having some time to process some of the interactions that have been interesting, um, I kept thinking of this song, and I should have put this in the I should have put the link in there. I didn't. I'll add the link to this after I'm done with the live. But this is the song I've been thinking of, um, and this was published by Sovereign Grace Music. It's called "Give Me Jesus." And again, I'm a Christian, and this is the source of my strength. So this resonated a lot with me. Take the world, but give me Jesus. All its joys are but a name. But his love abides forever, through eternal years the same. Take the world, but give me Jesus, sweetest comfort of my soul. With my Savior watching over me, I can sing though billows roll. Oh, the height and depth of mercy. Oh, the length and breadth of love. Oh, the fullness of redemption, pledge of endless life above. Take this world, my God's enough. Take the world, but give me Jesus. In his cross, my trust shall be, till with clearer, brighter vision, face to face, my Lord, I see. Oh, the height and depth of mercy. Oh, the length and breadth of love. Oh, the fullness of redemption, pledge of endless life above. Take this world, my God's enough. Take this world and give me Jesus. In his cross, my trust shall be. Take this world and give me Jesus. Till that day, my Lord, I see. So anyway, I hope you enjoy that. That's just been playing in my head, and I'm gonna go listen to it right now. Actually, my good friend Devin Coughlin actually sings this, so I'm gonna put a link in the video description so you can hear him sing the song. So anyway, but I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. If you're gonna go see the eclipse, may your skies be clear. And I'm not sure about next week, so I'm planning on going live, but I'm also probably going to be transitioning down to Georgia to help one of my children pack their house so they can move. So I'm going to be a little busy, but I just want to let you know, stay tuned. I will let you know in the community section if I change the plans, change the time or day, or have to cancel. I will certainly let you know. All right. Well, you guys have a great week. God bless. Bye bye.